If you were a Jedi or a Sith, what color would your lightsaber be and why? Would you stick to the classics like blue or red, or go for something rare like black, the dark saber, or yellow, wielded by the Jedi temple gods?
What kind of accent was that?
I don't know. I was just trying to get into the
was great.
Jedi.
Great.
I thought that was a Jedi accent.
Jedi accent, okay.
By the way, well, orange is my favorite color, but I don't know if I'd want to kill people with my favorite color. But I'd want it to be orange just in chill zone. Like when it was like a peacekeeping mission, it would just be orange. Like, like zoom. All right now. But but when I was going to really do damage, I think I'd have to go black only because like just in case it's nighttime, people can't see it.
But that's the cool part about them, right?
Yeah,
Is that they can see it. Like,
right.
That's all they can see.
Right. But I want
want to see your cool sword moves being seen at night?
No. I mean, I don't want it to be a fair fight. I just want it to be like,
Well, you're the Jedi powers.
But if I'm a Jedi, I'm only fighting someone who's not a good person. And so they don't need a fair fight. They just need my invisible lightsaber all up in them.
All right.
What about you, Jonesy?
Well, I'm going green, of course.
Why?
Because I bleed green, baby. Celtics.
Oh, Celtics. Green is the color of geniuses as well. But
green's a good color for a lightsaber, right? It's like
green is not bad. What color green? Though? Green is there are a lot of green.
Yeah,
wasn't green the from Return of the Jedi with Luke? I think it was green.
Was that green?
Yeah.
Or was it yellow?
No, it was green. I think
it's green.
I mean, I wish there was a way we could
And Vader's was like painted red.
I wish there was a way.
Yeah, I think, wasn't his blue and Vader's was red?
But he's talking about in Return of the Jedi, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't.
Well,
we could.
What color green? Like if we want to lock it in, not to be a chick about this,
I don't know. I guess we go. Key lime pie green.
Interesting. That's not like a daunting sort of scary color, but
yeah, and it might give me an advantage because inevitably someone would go, "Oh my God, what a pretty saber!" And I go, "Ah, I gotcha."
Yeah,
don't for my key lime pie green saber.
Don't write in about what I'm about to say. Just pretend it's 1995. It'd be great for like a fat person because they'd be like, key lime pie. And you just.
Oh, it was Luke Skywalker.
Not a fat person.
Yoda had
a hungry person. Let's say
Yoda and Luke had a green.
Yoda,
nice. I like green.
Green means go.
Yeah. How about you, Koji?
Mine would be red because that's my favorite color. And so I guess I'd be Sith.
Interesting.
I think it's just cool.
That's a bomb LA hat you got one too. Koji has on a LA Dodgers hat, except it's not Dodger blue. It's more like Yankee blue.
It's Red Sox blue.
And it's Red Sox red. It's Red Sox.
It looks like I thought it was a Red Sox hat when I got it.
It's exactly the Red Sox colors. You're right.
It really does.
That's dope. I don't like the Dodgers color. I don't like.
You don't like that pretty blue?
That royal blue. It's okay. I can't. You can wear it to the game, but you can't rock it just on day to day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
This is true.
In my opinion.
I wear it every day.
Yeah, but you have this one on now because you came to your senses. Yes. Well, welcome to the official story podcast. This is episode 2 of season 5. That's crazy. Join us as we dive into the quirky, mysterious, and bizarre. From unsolved mysteries to peculiar pop culture phenomena, we uncover hidden stories and explore alternate realities. My name is Dwayne Stargazer.
That was good. Yes. I'm Koji, the Sith Dark Lord.
Oh, nice. Wow.
That plays into what I just talked about.
Yeah, no.
And I'm Jonesy the Jedi.
Jonesy the Jedi. Alliteration.
Nice. Good job.
Not bad. It just worked out that way.
On May 22nd, 1977, Star Wars, the original one, came out. And to honor this anniversary, we're asking the very important question, are there really Stargates on Earth? However, before we get to that, let's introduce our guest host as well, comedian, podcaster, friend of the pod, my man, 40 grand, actually, Jonesy.
And we're not going to read the bio for Jonesy because he's been on the show so many times. How many times have you been on the show?
I think this is my fourth time.
Right. Yeah. You're on my favorite episode, the
DB
Cooper. Yeah.
God, DB Cooper.
I love that.
And The Vanishing Hotel.
The Vanishing Hotel, that was a fun one too.
And
the DB Cooper keeps coming up in my life, man. I don't know if it was always in my life, and then since I've done the podcast, now I notice it. But man, DB Cooper still, people talk about it still. It's so wild, man.
DB Cooper is like when you drive a Cooper, and then you realize, oh, there's so many on the road. Anyway,
that's right.
There's a phenomenon. I forget the name of it. It's like the Bernstein something or other phenomenon. But
the Bernstein Bears, yeah. I know one.
It's basically where you, if you buy a red car, you'll notice, you'll keep noticing red cars and you'll be like, why didn't I notice so many red cars?
Yeah, I think that is true. That is totally true.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what's going on. But yeah, shout out to DB Cooper.
And how have you been?
Everything's great. Yeah. Career's going slow but steady. Sports is fun, and
we were just hitting in the cage.
we were just hitting.
Oh, is that right? You guys were hitting.
Yeah, we were doing.
Came a little bit early.
I can't hit a baseball to save my life.
You could have hit it if you slowed
a
it
softball,
down.
maybe. Yeah, maybe.
You could hit the soft toss or something.
Maybe.
He's got this machine though in there. He's got a pitching machine, a legit pitching machine.
How fast can it go?
It
could go like 80, 90. But we weren't throwing that.
That would terrify me. Even 70. I would swing to save my life.
70's hard. So I can't even hit 70. 70's fast.
It's actually easier to hit faster because you just throw the bat at it. There's less that you have to do.
But you got to decide when it's like way away from you, right? Like,
yeah,
that's the hard.
You're like leg up before the ball's even coming, getting ready to get to hit this thing.
At 90, you're swinging when the ball's coming.
Yeah, you're not. There's no time for this. It's so hard to hit a fast. I mean, I just can't understand it. I could barely hit 55, and I've always been a decent hitter.
And how's your podcast going?
Podcast is going good. I'm about to hit 2,000 episodes.
2,000 episodes?
2,000 episodes.
That's a lot of episodes.
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I'm either the most productive person or the craziest person.
right.
Do
Time
a
will
podcast
tell. Yes,
5 days a week for 6 years or however long this has been.
How long is it again? Like what?
They're 20 minutes usually.
What's your favorite recent story?
Favorite recent
story? Why don't you say what the name of it is?
Weird AF News. Here's a story that it's been sticking with me. You're gonna love this.
Mm-hmm.
There was a guy in a band who wanted to steal his bandmate's girlfriend. This was his plan to do it. He snuck estrogen in the man's energy drinks and tried to turn him into a woman.
That's crazy.
That was his plan.
So did it work even a little?
It drove him crazy.
The
guy, estrogen, yeah. He couldn't sleep at night.
He started saying, it's not what you said, it's your tongue.
Yes.
Did he grow a breast or something?
None of that happened.
Oh,
no.
really?
He just went crazy. Personality changed. He was irritable all the time. Couldn't sleep. Started having health problems.
Wow. Did he like?
That's a serious crime.
Did he start watching the
it's
Hallmark
like poisoning,
Channel?
Poisoning.
Did he watch the Hallmark Channel more? Or
a little bit of. Yeah.
I got to keep going with this, but that is such a it's such the long con. Like,
it's
why?
Such a long con. Isn't that crazy?
Just all you got to do. Not that I would ever do it. I would never do that, but I would also never do this other thing. But it's way more effective. Is just study them. You notice what she doesn't like about him. Point that out. Keep bringing it up. It almost makes it seem like you wanted to bone the guy. Like, what was your real plan? You know what I mean?
And if you're going long con, like, you don't have to break the law.
Right, exactly.
You can take a course. How do I get what I want being, I'm sure there's a guru out there that could teach you how to steal that girlfriend.
You can hook him up. You can hook unless he's like super faithful on some Tom Hanks. He's in a band. You just get a hot chick to.
That's right.
Even if they don't hook up, just be in the amorous kind of hug, take a picture, show it to the girl. I tried to stop him.
She's like, I told you went on the road and this would happen. You're like, yeah, those road gigs. And then, you could totally set that up.
There's so many things other than poison a guy with estrogen.
I'm glad you thought of these other methods.
No, I just thought of them just now. These haven't been
These are rudimentary. Anyone could have thought it.
Wait, this book isn't a list of ways to take a guy's girl. What are you talking about? Well, it's time to get to the bottom of this once and for all.
All right, let's do it.
Stargates, inspired by science fiction, are believed by some to be real portals linking dimensions, times, and locations. Rooted in ancient myths and spiritual traditions, they hold both intrigue and metaphysical significance.
Stargates are imagined as energy portals enabling instant transport across space and time, often linked to Earth's energy hotspots and ancient sacred sites. Of course they are.
Right. Some of the places that have been named as possible locations of Stargates include Giza Plateau in Egypt, Machu Picchu in Peru, Stonehenge in England, Sedona, Arizona. I wouldn't have guessed that, but I did feel something when I was there. I felt like this soccer mom energy. Anyway, Mount Shasta, California, Bermuda Triangle, okay, in the Atlantic Ocean, Uluru, Ayers Rock, Australia, and the Temple, Mount Jerusalem. And I've been to, I don't know if I've been there, but I've been to the holiest of holies.
Holies of holies?
In Jerusalem. This is a little area. The guy told me this is the holiest of the holy. And they were like, do you feel it? And I was
Did you feel it?
Yeah.
You should kill him.
Did you feel anything in Sedona? The vortexes, they say vortexes.
I felt a lot in Sedona, actually, though.
Sedona is beautiful.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah, it's really
cool. I was with my mom, too, so it was
That's
really
a beautiful,
nice.
beautiful
I was watching
place.
a documentary called Transformers, and they used the Stonehenge as a place to transport to Cybertron.
They used that.
A documentary.
It's a direct wormhole.
Cybertron, yeah, which is the home planet of
My goodness.
the Decepticons,
Right.
and
The Autobots?
What's that cube called? That energy cube thingy?
From Hellraiser?
No, from Transformers.
Transfer.
I don't remember.
I don't remember.
Okay.
We'll have to watch that documentary again.
Right.
But apparently the best evidence of a Stargate, at least from our research, is an ancient chart-like carving found in Anuradhapura in Sri Lanka. The mysterious chart, distinct from other Anuradhapura-era carvings, features 7 concentric circles, geometric patterns, and marine animals such as fish, turtles, and seahorses.
You know, it's interesting. I'm going to keep reading, but when we were talking about how many episodes you've done, and you said 20 minutes a day, like 5 days a week, I thought, man, Jonesy could have learned a second language, you know? And then like you're reading this, I don't know if they speak in Sri Lankan or whatever. You could have learned that. Like you could have, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally could have.
I'm glad you did, because you wouldn't have known about the estrogen thing. So.
Which is helpful.
Right.
It's a way better story.
Right. Some link Sri Lanka's Anuradhapura Stargate to Abu Ghurab in Egypt and La Puerta in Hayumarca in Peru, citing similar symbols and proximity to water, like just a weather reservoir, as evidence supporting extraterrestrial gold processing theories.
That was terrible.
Yeah, let me read it again.
No, it's fine.
I mean,
it was just the more like the harder you're having like with the other words than like the regular words you're.
Yeah. I started to doubt myself in every way possible. Yeah. We'll link a video to that we think you should all watch to see the chart for yourself.
Did you guys watch it?
I watched
it. Yeah. I mean, I have to watch other videos. I thought that guy wasn't great, but the actual picture itself is pretty amazing, just because it's a perfect circle, 2 perfect concentric circles, and it just seemed like completely not random, and it's something that they haven't deciphered. It does look a little bit like circuitry, but then the fish on the outside, and it's 6 feet. It's something. It's who knows exactly, but I was impressed by it, given its age and how perfect the circles were. Like it seemed like something older, like that couldn't be done at the time in terms of how accurate and precise it was.
What about you? Did you watch it, Jonesy?
Yeah, I watched it.
What did you think of it?
It looks like similar to other stuff I've seen in Egypt and South America. There's stuff like that all over the world. I wouldn't hang my hook on that.
They're not from aliens.
This is the authentic Stargate from blah, 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 you know. And then as far as like the age of it, I mean, they don't really know. You can't date stone.
1 billion years.
They're like, it's 6,500 years old. Like, you don't know that. You can't date stone. You can't date a stone carving.
It does look like these other things in these other countries. Yeah.
Well, yeah, there's links to all of these things. You find the same motifs in South America as you do in Egypt, as you do in Europe as well.
And there's a thing where, you know, if multiple people at different spots in the world come up with the same thing at the same time, like geometry or, you know, other things. So like, for example, one of the things I always point to is dragons. Right. There's, you know, Chinese dragons, there's Scottish dragons, there's dragons with Mayan culture. In Africa, there was dragons. So like, I mean, obviously dragons didn't exist as far as I know, but yet all of these cultures were able to come up with this idea of this giant dragon that flies.
Yeah.
Right?
It started as a winged serpent.
Yeah.
And so like in Mexico, they call it was a winged serpent. The Mayans worship a winged serpent. But that you can see it's related to dragons, same thing.
Yeah,
but that goes back so long, and you find that everywhere.
Yeah,
you find that everywhere.
So either there was some common thing that they all witnessed, or they were just all like sitting around like, what would be the best way to kill those motherfuckers over there? If we had something that flew and shot fire at them, you know. So, but I think it's more something that they either some kind of a bird or something that had those.
Well, even like in screenwriting, there's like one of the things I'm always really thinking about when I think of an idea is I don't want to say it too much, because the more I say it, I feel like somebody else is going to think about it somewhere else.
Put it into the universe.
Yeah. You think the power, you lose the power?
Not that I lose the power, but that more and more people will come up with that same idea.
As soon as you think it, and the more you say it, you're putting it into the universe. You're on the clock. As soon as you think it, it's like a joke. As soon as you think of it, you're on the clock to say it. And then if you don't say it, you hear someone else do something similar and you're like, damn, I thought of that like 2 years ago or whatever the case.
Now, an important question we should be asking is, are Stargates theoretically possible? Now, wormholes are theoretical space-time passages linking distant points or universes, inspiring the fictional concepts of Stargates and portals, which are depicted differently.
So the answer is maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
When I was researching Stargates, I found 2 other references. The first was Stargate LLC, an American AI joint venture, which is scary.
Super scary.
Yeah. And maybe we could do a show about that in the future. And the second is the Stargate Project, a clandestine project within the U.S. Army from 1977, which I did not know. And it's weird that Star Wars was 1977 and the Stargate was 1977.
I'm very familiar about that Stargate project. I've listened to tons of podcasts featuring like Ingo Swann and Russell Targ. These are guys that are involved in this project. And the sort of remote viewing that was being done, it's real. It was absolutely real. And there are still people that are doing this and teaching it. You can take remote viewing courses, and this stuff is completely real, what they were doing. Fascinating stuff. Project Stargate was a Cold War-era CIA program inspired by fears that the Soviets were developing mind-based espionage tools, such as ESP and remote viewing. Launched in the 1970s, the project explored telepathy, future prediction, and the ability to see distant or hidden locations. Early experiments included psychic Uri Geller, whose purported abilities were later debunked, though funding continued into the 1980s. Success stories like Rosemary Smith pinpointing a downed Soviet aircraft kept interest alive despite mixed results.
By the 1990s, skepticism grew, and a review found no conclusive evidence to support its methods, leading to the program's cancellation in 1995. Declassified in 2017, Stargate remains a fascinating chapter in Cold War history and continues to influence modern beliefs in psychics and spiritual energy. And have you guys seen the movie Stargate?
Maybe, but I was just rewatching it. I haven't finished it. It looks good. I'm excited because I know about the show, but I'm gonna like do a deep dive and just watch the movie, the shows. So there's so much content there.
And Jonesy, you just saw that, right?
I just rewatched Stargate, from the early 80s. I believe it's from the early 80s. The movie with
Is
Kurt
it 80s?
Russell.
Early 80s?
I think it's
I believe it's early 80s.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's Kurt Russell era.
Okay.
Yeah, because he's the army guy.
Yeah, he's the stoic army guy.
And what happens in it?
Well, they find this buried gate in Egypt, and the military sets it up, and they realize that you can, if you solve some symbols that are around there. I forget how they solved these a riddle that was around the rim of it.
Yeah,
using the other main character,
the guy from 24.
Yeah, what's that actor's name?
Sutherland.
He's
like
one of the Brat Pack kids.
Dude.
Remember him? He's a Brat Pack from the early
from
the
24. The show 24.
What is his name? That
he's
actor?
also maybe
It's
was he
killing
in the
me.
Equalizer? I know his name. Koji is gonna look it up in his
Denzel Washington.
No.
It's
He's a Brat.
He's a Brat Packer.
Brat Pack dude.
Yeah, not one of the main ones, but like on the.
Well, he's pretty solid.
Yeah.
He's I think he's a genius, is what I remember.
He's like the blonde, the good-looking
go to
blonde
Harvard or
one with the
something?
shaggy hair.
It's.
It came out in 1994, by the way, guys.
Did it?
Yeah.
Oh, I felt like I was watching an 80s movie.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty.
It was when I was in high school. James
Oh.
Spader.
James Spader.
Yes,
that's
there
it.
we go.
James
There we
Spader.
go.
Yeah, Brat Pack.
Yeah.
Yeah, James Spader plays the Egyptian
He's
linguist,
like the nerd dude. Yeah.
and he has to translate the hieroglyphics, and they open up a portal, and they go over there, and they're in another world, and there's creatures, and what they kind of seem like. It's got alien vibes. It's got alien stuff going on. It's really, really cool. I was gonna say though, this is kind of bullshit here, right? Like,
What's that?
well, okay, look, so it says here, skepticism grew by the 90s, and they found no conclusive evidence to support its method.
I was
Bro,
going to talk about that.
It started in the 70s. It took them 20 years, that skepticism. It was working. They had tons and tons.
Well, here's the
They
thing.
had if it wasn't working, it's not going to last two decades. Are you out of your mind? They don't just keep throwing money at something.
Here's the thing, though.
No. I listened to the podcast of the people that did it. This stuff is real, man.
But listen,
it's completely real.
I don't doubt it's real. The question is, could they harness it, right? So there's two options. One is they completely did, and they just act like they didn't, which I would do, right? You wouldn't want people to know you have this great power.
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing is that somebody is in charge of this program, right? So who do you think they're giving the Stargate program to, right? You already fucked up some other program. You know, they kicked you off the MK Ultra. They kicked you off this one, the Star, the missile system program. Then they're like, you know what, man? You're on Stargate. And if you mess this one up, you're out of here. So now you got to fudge the numbers or else you lose your funding and you lose your job. So you're standing there and they're showing like they got cards and they're like, which one is the cat? And you're standing behind and you're like,
It's like Ghostbusters.
Right. Exactly. So I see it both ways. That whenever they say they dismantled it, I'm like, did they? But also I could see why it lasted so long is that was somebody's baby. It's like we were talking sports earlier. These GMs, if you take a risk or if they draft 2 quarterbacks and one was in the first round and the other one was in the 7th round or 5th round or whatever, the one in the first round is going to get so many more opportunities because the GM doesn't want to look bad.
49ers.
Yeah. They had to finally go to Brock Purdy, and it was like, we wasted a pick. If this was our guy, some guys don't want to be wrong, so they'd rather do something for 2 decades instead of being wrong.
I mean, I even tell people the only reason Austin Reeves started playing for the Lakers was because we were so bad with Russell Westbrook. We were so bad that they're like, why don't we just start the guy that wasn't drafted?
Right.
if they were like a number 1 seed, would the undrafted rookie play? Probably not.
Right.
He wouldn't play, so it makes sense.
But you could just go watch the Russell Target presentation, man. Your mind will be blown.
But I believe you that, who knows if it was successful or not. They're going to say it wasn't, but who knows?
Yeah, I mean, they could still be doing the project.
There's several of the guys you can hear on podcasts to this day. They talk about it. It's all all these guys aren't lying. It's
every spy movie you've ever seen in your life. You know what I mean? Like, tell me about Watershed. How do you know about Watershed? I know it was experimental. Yeah, and it was shut down 20 years ago. Unless it wasn't. You know what I mean? So, it's time to put on our thinking caps. Are Stargates real? When we return, we'll settle this one once and for all and figure out what really maybe happened. Now that we've reviewed the evidence, let's give our theories.
Do you want to go first?
Well, it's crazy because, you say that wormholes exist or they can exist. And I think the thing to realize is that as human beings, we sometimes lose the ability to do something. It's like that computer they found. It's like an analog computer they found in
the Antikythera device.
A shipwreck.
Yeah, the Antikythera device.
This thing was like an analog computer from DC.
2,000 years old.
Yeah. And it literally tracked the sun, the moon, it predicted eclipses. I think concrete, I feel like we had concrete, then we forgot how to do it. So I think that bodes well for something like this existing because we lose how to do things. And could be for a lot of reasons. So are Stargates real? I would say that they are real. And the reason why they closed and we can't seem to access it anymore, this is what I struggle with because I'm torn between the aliens or the people, the beings that would come visit us. We did something to piss them off or we didn't follow some instruction or we just were disappointment. So they stopped coming. Either that or someone used the Stargate to rewrite history, and we all live now in that iteration of sort of time.
The Mandela effect.
And then by doing so, though, they broke the Stargate, maybe on purpose, maybe not on purpose. I think more I'm leaning toward that. So Stargates exist, and I've probably had a similar theory, but I think someone went back in time. They didn't go back far enough, so they didn't erase all evidence of it. That's why we have some evidence. But when they went back, it was sort of to rewrite things, which is why there could be a computer that's like 2,000 years old. And then we don't have this same navigation technology and ability till 2,000 years later. I think someone used the Stargate to let's like think of Biff and Back to the Future, So someone or someone's used the Stargate because they didn't like their stock and where they were in life. And they took some knowledge and rewrote history. And who knows, maybe it's the same people that the secret society that controls everything. But some people they came back, they run stuff now. They mistakenly left evidence of another timeline before they interrupted ours.
So your Stargate's more about going back in time or time warps more than aliens.
Yeah, more than a different place. Because I think a wormhole, I believe, is a time thing. I think it can be a time or space thing. So yeah, that's my Stargate.
Okay, so I would have said that Stargates were not possible.
Mm-hmm.
But now with the Trump administration, I'm starting to think that they're possible because we have people who look at facts. Like I'm convinced that they believe, like for example, like tariffs are a thing now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm convinced they believe that China is going to be paying for the tariffs. Like I'm convinced that it's not like a trick. Like I used to think, are they like they're just trying to fool us? They're just trying to trick us. But I actually believe.
You mean that people believe it?
No, that the Trump administration, they believe
the team.
Yeah, the whole team.
Like, well, he wasn't awake at business school. He must have been sleeping during that. I mean,
but I think that they believe it. And so the only rationale that I come up with is that these are fucking aliens from another planet who just came here and like they read the econ books wrong. and they've like convinced themselves that this is
Red.
and whatever Trump says is the truth. So I think that all the people in his administration are basically aliens from the Stargate that have come, and maybe what's the closest Stargate? Sedona, maybe.
Sedona.
Yeah,
That would make sense though, because you see these guys in Scottsdale, Arizona, not too far from Sedona.
Mm.
So
Scottsdale, yeah.
yeah. And I think what happens when I like about this, I believe, I don't know, maybe I just misheard, but when you go through these portals, you come out on the other side with a Tommy Bahama shirt on. Is what I.
But have you guys seen the Mar-a-Lago face? The whole like for example, Laura Trump.
What is it? Just sunburned?
No. So Laura Trump is like a normal looking person, and then she comes back and she's like Botoxed. And
Oh,
like their faces are like
really?
a lot of the women.
So they must have a service there. That's
yeah.
all.
Well, no, they come. I think something in the Stargate. Like they go and they come back and they're like they look like funky.
These aliens come from they're dumb. They come from a dumb place.
Yeah, like maybe Idiocracy. Maybe that was a documentary about like their society.
Maybe they're kicked out on where they're from. You know, we're not getting
that
the
makes
best.
sense.
Yeah. We're getting
You
like
kick them out
It's like Australia.
because there's got to be some. It ends up being Australia. Aw. Poor Australia.
That's funny.
Yeah, because they got to be intelligent beings in their world. Otherwise, how would they make a
How would
Stargate?
they come back? Right.
Yeah. How would they make a Stargate?
So they're just kicked out.
These are like the idiots.
So basically, they have like a test. Like we have standardized tests. They have a standardized test.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do poorly, like too poorly, they're like, oh, you got to go through that portal.
And it all happens
then-
to go to the White
And
House.
they're like, no.
Because the only people that are believing in
Yeah.
Trump are these people.
Yeah.
Like, I'm convinced they believe it. Like, at first I thought these guys are just messing around. Like,
Mm.
but now I truly believe that they believe this. Interesting. What about you, Jonesy? What's your theory?
Yeah, I'm not buying Stargates. I don't think there's a Stargate. I don't think we want a Stargate because you can't. The body's really tender and sensitive, and it doesn't survive one planet to the right.
Right.
Never mind 5 galaxies to the left.
It's a great.
You know,
point.
like we can only live in it's got to be a very specific oxygen level. It's got to be a very specific, some of the more deadlier gases cannot really be allowed in the atmosphere like we find them in other planets that are just nearby. These places are whacked. We can't even go over there.
I mean, think about what a little estrogen can do to you.
Just think about a little estrogen make you crash your car. I mean, you can't even think straight. So yeah, I don't think there's movement. I don't think this body can be moved around like that. Do I believe that there can be travel by more intelligent beings throughout the universe? If there are such things, yeah. But I don't think they'd be limited to a Stargate. They can appear however the hell they want, wherever they want.
Right.
They're not stuck to like, oh no, we gotta wait for the line of this. It's a little long. We gotta wait, and you know what I mean. Like they're appearing everywhere. They're appearing underwater.
Right.
They're appearing everywhere. They're not relying upon some sort of like runway.
Well, the Stargate was for us, or maybe that kind of my theory lends to that because we're not traveling to some other dimension. We're just going.
You think we're just going on Earth? We're going like from Sedona to Stonehenge?
No, he's
different
going back in
times
time.
too.
Oh, different times
too. Yeah,
Like a wormhole.
No, I think you're right, and it's like I want you to finish, but like also. The whole issue with the whole thing is your soul. Even when you watch Star Trek and they teleport and all of that, how does the soul, you know what I mean? We know what we're made of. We can, we know the molecules, and at some point we'll be able to sort of recreate that. But if we do so, can we create that thing, that whatever that, our battery or whatever the thing is, you know what I mean? So that's the one thing I say that you make a really good point, not only about we can't live in certain conditions, but how would our soul?
Now, in your theory of the Stargate, does the soul makes the trip though?
Absolutely.
The soul can do that back in time though.
Back in time.
Or forward in time. Yeah, back in time. Yeah. I think there's a way. I think there is. This is kind of deep and weird, but like travel is possible across the universe, maybe even for us in our minds only.
So we can get a glimpse of it, but not physically.
Yeah, some of those people in the remote viewing program, they were able to project. They were able to see things on other planets that were later confirmed.
Oh, wow.
They were able to see things on the moon that was then later confirmed. They were able to project their awareness outside of the Earth, not just around the Earth. They were able to put it out there. So who knows what our minds are actually capable of? I think we're just discovering what our minds are capable of via meditation and ESP experiments. Some of the stuff that this Dr. Dean Radin is doing. which is similar to this remote viewing stuff. We're learning that the mind is got some superpowers, call it ESP, whatever. And we're kind of just rediscovering this stuff. The ancients probably knew about it. We're just rediscovering this. Who knows what we're capable of, but we probably can with our minds. Our mind is probably a Stargate, is what I'm saying.
Ooh, I like that.
And we can go out there anywhere we want.
Okay.
It's very Cheech and Chong. Your mind is a Stargate.
Hey, man.
Hey, man.
Yeah. Dude, smoke the Stargate Kush, man. Yeah, right, dude.
It's time for us to pick the unofficial, official story, one that will answer this question once and for all. So, which theory do we want to go with today?
I like that we're invaded. We've been invaded by stupid aliens through Stargates. I like that. It makes me feel better about the world right now. It allows me to make sense of it, at least.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I just want to make sense of what's going on.
I like that. But I also like your mind is a Stargate, which is kind of what you landed on.
Look at Jedi, baby. We started with Jedi.
Yeah.
It's like that, right?
Yeah, I like that a lot. 'Cause that was Yoda's thing, right?
That was totally Yoda thing.
All the Jedis can just...
That's right.
There's a disturbance in the Force.
Yeah, mind is primary.
Right.
The physical universe is secondary. Some believe that some of these guys I'm talking about from like Dean Radin and the people from the Operation Stargate, they actually believe that consciousness is primary, and it started with consciousness. The universe, everything started with consciousness first, and the physical universe is just an epiphenomenon of that. And so what's primary is consciousness, and they're running experiments to really find out if consciousness is primary. And in little ways, it looks like it could be true.
So like our physical form is just sort of like a byproduct, kind of like.
Correct.
Yeah.
But I just got a text from Kat. Kat just said she's voting for mine.
Right.
She did say that.
Before you start with the cheating Stargate thing, let's see what Jonesy, are you voting for?
Yeah, I vote for that.
Okay, and you're voting for yours.
I'm voting for mine. So it
doesn't matter. Yeah. So we don't need to pretend that Kat voted for yours.
No, she did.
Oh, I should have voted for you. That way we could then do the reveal of Kat.
Right. Well,
you want to make it? You want to record it and redo it and be like,
well, I like Koji's, but I'm since it doesn't matter, I'll go with yours. The mine is the Stargate because that's pretty heavy.
Yeah, I like that though too.
Yeah.
But it's the Trump one that makes the most sense.
Yeah, it's the Trump one. Yeah.
At what point can we just like kick them through the Stargate? Like that would be like
we got to convince them to go to Sedona.
Oh, okay. We got to get. How do you get them to Sedona? We just tell them.
Trad wives.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of trad wives there that they can meet.
Yeah. That's a great idea.
You gotta put like, I don't know what's that. Maybe we can like put McDonald's on the other side, and then in between is a Stargate. And you're like, hey man, these Big Macs are like free.
And these women will love you, and you could be a traditional man.
And that's the official. I'm doing air quotes. That's the official story. We'll take another break, and we'll ask the question that you've always wanted to ask.
If you had the opportunity to step through a Stargate, where would you hope it takes you? Another time, another world, or perhaps a hidden place right here on Earth? What would you be most excited or afraid to find on the other side of that Stargate?
What's crazy that was your theory, Koji, because this was even though it wasn't my theory, your theory won, my Stargate wish, which I'm completely wasting on this, and I shouldn't have to waste on this. I don't know if it would take one or two. It might take 2 trips, and we're talking time only. So I might go 20 years into the future, provided there's still a planet and the world still exists. AI will be pretty robust. I probably could do this, but just to make it quick, I go 20 years in the future. The original Facebook will be like some weird relic. I could probably just look it up, literally look it up, the source code. But I might ask AI, hey, AI, make me the original Facebook. Just do the code, take that code, go back 20 years or maybe 30 years from this moment right now, create Facebook, right?
Mm-hmm.
Keep it relatively the same. I wouldn't dominate MySpace. I might even make it so MySpace wins. But anyway, what I would definitely do is make sure that Facebook, and I may not even be running it. I just would boop, 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 but I would make sure that it couldn't be used to hack an election. So
I love that.
That's
Yeah.
very elaborate for hacking election.
for unhacking.
For unhacking the
Yeah,
election,
yeah. And it's a total waste of a Stargate thing, but that's how much I care about people.
Yeah, that's very nice of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just always giving. Yeah.
I would go. I would just go on my. I have this curiosity about like what the hell, who made the pyramids, what they are.
Oh, yeah.
I really want to know so bad.
Egyptians.
Got it. Yeah, but like we don't really know. They don't really know. They just have theories. They think there's so many different theories. And what are they? What could they be? They're not tombs because there's no inscriptions on them. So there was never bodies found in them. They look like machines to me. At least the big one. They look like it could be an antenna. There's a power plant theory by that one English dude, and there's all these theories. I would love to go be able to step through a Stargate and go back to Egypt in 3000 BC, whatever it is, just see what the hell is going on. Who made it?
That would be great. What I love is that like you go through the Stargate, right? You pop up, and they're building it, and then it's just like a bunch of black dudes, and they're just all building it or whatever. Maybe some are foremen, some are building, whatever. And you go, what? Hey, man, let me out. What is this? And he goes, hey, you another white dude that came back from the future to ask what this was? And he goes, well, I got some good news and bad news. The good news I can tell you is that this here is just for decoration. And the bad news is you can't go back.
Put him with the other ones.
Right.
Oh, that's so funny.
But that's a good use of it, though. Super good use of it.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of my, I'm so enthralled by all of that. That's why I watched, that's kind of one of the reasons why I watched
Stargate.
I watched the Stargate movie because it like took place in Egypt and it looked like there was like Egypt iconography on the cover of the
Well, wasn't it that the gods were real and they're from the other planet, right? Or the other?
They were from another planet, but they took on Egyptian motifs, like they wore the Anubis heads.
Right.
And they were like, they had a link to Egypt.
So what I would do is I always think about this moment. My mom met the person who started Bitcoin.
Oh, wow.
Way back in the day.
Are you
Wait a minute.
serious?
They don't know who this person is.
It was a Japanese guy.
Yes.
Yeah, but they don't. There's just a theory. They don't know if it's
I don't
really
know
him.
I don't know if it's really him, but
yeah,
I remember that this person was talking to my mom because they wanted my mom to invest in something like that.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, but she was like an older woman, and so she didn't know what the hell the person's talking about.
Yeah, that was a strange pitch to you,
right?
But
my mom had money, and she was investing in stuff, and so I remember she was telling me about it. I had no idea what the hell, and I was like, no, this sounds crazy.
You recall in real time she told you, hey, by the way, I just spoke to someone, and they said I should invest.
Like 6 months later, it wasn't like right after it.
Right.
Oh man!
And then she was talking to me about it, and then everyone is convinced that was like the Bitcoin guy, but we don't know for sure. But so it could have just been a scam. But it sounded like at that time there was nothing like that happening. There was no nobody was talking about cryptocurrency back then.
Yeah. So if you could even convince her to just put like $5,000 in.
Yeah,
$5,000.
Like Kobe,
Are you kidding me?
like Kobe Bryant put in.
Those coins were like $5 at the time.
Yeah,
$5,000 would have got you. Forget it. If you put $100 in it, you'd be sitting pretty.
Right.
Like Kobe Bryant got Kawhi Leonard to invest in Under Armour, right? He invested in Under Armour, then they made a shitload of money.
Oh,
right?
wow,
They put in
really?
I think they put it like 50,000 or 100,000, and they ended up it's like
Really?
50 million.
Under Armour?
This is like before they became
Steph
big. Curry.
Yeah, before they became
wow.
a big thing.
Oh.
But yeah, I always think about going back to that moment and finding out the truth about it, and finding out whether it was real
and dropping a G on it.
Yeah, and just putting a little bit of money in.
Did he say what the name of it was at the time?
My mom didn't know.
Oh, okay.
They might have told my mom, but my mom it was translated. It was into English.
Was he a Nigerian prince?
She met him in person. She said it was Japanese.
Yeah. They have there's a name attached to it.
Yeah.
But it's just legendary. This person's never come out.
It's crazy that we don't know who made this, and this is like currency that everyone respects. That's
crazy.
That's outrageous to me.
It's totally outrageous.
And it's not even linked to a country.
When you think about it, it's like really insane, and that people are trusting it, and people pouring laundering money. I mean, it's insane.
But it's not that crazy when you think that the dollar isn't backed by anything. Like essentially the way we got out of the 2008, the way we got out of the 2008 recession was by making more money.
But money is fake anyway.
Yeah.
So unless it's
the dollar though, there's a certain level of trust. There's time involved,
but also
everybody's on.
But it used to be
fiat currency. We all have agreed over the centuries that this is like what we're doing.
This has been a lot of fun, guys. Thank you, Jonesy, for coming on with us. Please tell us where people can follow you and your podcast.
Oh, my podcast is called Weird AF News, and it's a 5-day-a-week weird news comedy podcast. It's available everywhere, and I'm on Instagram at FunnyJones.
To our listeners, we truly appreciate your support and enthusiasm for our quirky, mysterious, and fun-filled journey. Your curiosity and engagement make this podcast a joy to create. Stay tuned for more intriguing stories, and remember to share, subscribe, and leave a review. Until next time, keep wondering and stay unofficially official.
In the next episode, we'll be asking the question, was Robert Kennedy's killer part of MK Ultra?
Ooh, I like that.
That's weird that we did two.
Right.
Mind control, remote viewing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to say one thing, with this MK Ultra thing, kind of like Manchurian Candidate. If you are ever in a cafe, okay, and a guy walks up to you, right, and he looks at you and goes, cat, river, fork, muscle, green, 13, punch him in the face, because the program doesn't kick in till he gets to the end of these random words.
Oh, so you got to enter.
Yeah. So if you hear 4 words that don't make sense, punch him in the face. That's my theory.
Probably wearing a suit. How
Sorry.
quick you get him? You get him quick?
3 words in.
You don't mess around.
But what I learned though is
I was just asking if you wanted whipped cream off me.
Knocked out a few servers. Sorry.
What I've learned, excuse me, Sonny, actually does lead to something. So don't. Excuse me, Sonny. Wow. You won't MK Ultra me. But
you won't MK Ultra me.
I'm excited for that one though. Yeah.
I never heard of that. I didn't know that was a thing.
Robert Kennedy's
I didn't
killer.
know the tie to MK Ultra.
There's been a lot of stories around people who've been their brain's been hijacked and then used to do bad things.
Yeah. The little voice told me to do it.
Oh, like the mind control, and they make them do the bad thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, that explains Kennedy now.
Oh yeah. Well, he's being controlled by a worm inside his brain.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Bye.
See you guys.